Hey guys, it's Divine here. It's been a while. I've been studying for weeks now and I'm almost done, but I just couldn't let the chance to make a merchanting review for the Kalphite King pass by, especially after not having been able to make a video for so long. Now I got home after my 3 exams of today and quickly checked some live streams. From what I see, it is mostly very laggy, people are really hating on the regular drops and of course racing for the expensive ones, and the boss seems pretty complex. It has all 3 combat styles involved, as I expected since I first heard about it. And when I first heard about it, that was in a video of ModMark talking about RuneScape in 2012, which was vided at RuneFest 2011. The update was scheduled for 2012, but now it was released in 2013, so I hope it is worth the wait. Now, ModMark doesn't give a whole lot away in the video yet, as it is of course a long time before the update. After that, we don't hear about it at all in 2012, until this special edition behind the scenes at the end of November, which is for 2013 and beyond. Now, it states that the Kalphite coin will be around in early 2013, and as you can see here, it's listed second. Now, I had sort of expected Jagex to use this arrangement, like to release a Grandmaster quest in January, then a Kalphite King in February, and so on. But they didn't do that, so I was quite surprised to see that a Kalphite King was coming out this month. But again, this post doesn't give anything away. It's not exactly rocket science to know that the Kalphite King will require you to be high leveled. And that's really all they say about it here. And then we finally get some more information in the January behind the scenes, which came as a surprise to me, like I said before, as I didn't expect the Kalphite King until February. Now, I got online and pretty much panic bought next gear as soon as I could, and it was already rising nicely at that time. Now, there are a few interesting details in this post. First of all, they state the most damaging NPC attack ever, which automatically rings a bell to buy Divines, Elysians, and Arcanes. And then they mention the loot, and I really laughed out loud when I read this. Dual wielding, level 90 melee weapons. Dear Jagex, you just spent something like 9 months to overhaul the whole combat system and balance out the combat triangle. Then you are finally done, and you decide to release level 90 weapons, but only melee? What the hell? But yeah, let's not get into how big of a mindfuck that is and just move on with this video. And then 2 days later we get this behind the scenes video about the Kalphite King. The guy who talks about it seems like a pretty friendly guy. I love the part where he says, "You're going to die. Lots." The video itself doesn't really help merchanting much, it's more about strategies and some basic information and stuff. But whenever a behind the scenes video is posted, people generally expect that to be the next update for the week and obviously invest for it. Now, I did invest for it too, because I really didn't expect it to be around this soon, but then I suddenly looked at the top comments of the video, and there I saw a Jmod confirm in a reply to someone, as you can see here, that it wouldn't be around for a couple of weeks. Now this was quite disappointing, and I decided to sell off my next gear and spirit shields with around 300 to 400 mil profit or so. I'll probably add them to my merchanting log at some point. Now in the end, this couple of weeks was actually 1 week and 3 days. I sort of expected it to be at the end of January, but apparently that's Jagex's definition of a couple of weeks. And then suddenly last week on Sunday evening or so, there was an OG blog, or whatever the hell it is, from ModMark, and I wasn't online at the time actually. My girlfriend was like, "Honey, I think there's a new post." And I was like, "What? What new post?" She's like, "Yeah, it's something about EOC." I was like, "What? What the hell?" So I went to read it, and holy shit, I ran to the Grand Exchange and I panic bought my stuff up because, yeah, that's exactly what ModMark wanted, of course. It was basically pure manipulation. Like, it was really pushing people into buying their gear back because it was so cheap, and he was talking how gear is going to be better, how the bosses are going to be harder, how you're really going to need it for the Kalphite King. And it already rose quite a bit by the time I bought, but I still made well over 800 mil profit. So a big thank you to my girlfriend for telling me about this. And a big part of this was also the fact that they would add the set effects to necks. And the set effect really specifically caused the gloves and boots of each set to rise quite a lot. They really made pretty massive rises, like over double or triple in price. And yeah, this is pretty much because people would expect you to need the whole set in order to have this effect. And as a result, so many people stocked up so hard on those items and are now selling them to no demand at all. and now they're pretty much crashing pretty damn hard. Now to show you guys a little example of that, I decided to pick Torva gloves because I like working with examples. And here you can see the first time they mentioned that they're going to add a set effect, they explode in price. Like they go from 27 mil or so to 70 mil each, which is really insane. And after that, down for a while and back up over double in price. And this is just seriously because Jagex mentioned that they would add this set effect sometime in January with the Kalphite King update. And yeah, here you go. It's just crazy. Now onto the Torva plate buddy graph. I'm just picking this as the main example for all the next gear. This is a graph from 1st to 14th January. And as you can see here, they're pretty stable around the start. That's when the behind the scenes is posted. And yeah, that's only a 10 mil rise or so. And after that, they're pretty stable. And yeah, you can pretty much use any item graph for this one here. But I'm just picking the Torva plate buddy as an example. You can overlay the other ones. Now here, the behind the scenes video is posted, and they rise from pretty much 180 to 233 mil in a matter of hours. Now here we are missing a few hours because our system jammed because of the insane price rises, which is unfortunate, but there's not much we can do about that. We'll look into a solution in the future, I hope. And then here you can see them go back down because they really wouldn't go that high. I think I sold mine off around here, 215 or so, 217. Anyways, going on, they go down for a little while, which is quite normal. Like after any rise, you usually have a crash. And yeah, then they remain fairly stable until the day before the update, you'd think. But then here we get the manipulation blog post by Mark. And here we get a really big problem because the prices literally explode, they fly all over the place, and here we're missing 3 days of data just because of Mark's manipulation. Like the prices exploded so badly, we sadly couldn't track them. I was really sad about that. But yeah, there's nothing we can do about that now, so we should just move on and work with what we have. And what we have here is a 60 mil increase in the Torva plate buddy price alone. Now the rest pretty much follows like per ratio, it's just pretty much the same. So any next item you invested in, you would have made a lot of money, and this is the point where I made that 800 mil-ish. And after that you can see like some waves up and down, people awaiting the Kalphite King update. But at this point next gear already rose so much that, you know, it's pretty difficult for it to rise even further than this, because that would really be too ridiculously high, especially now that the player imports gear is entering the market very slowly. And as you can see here, this graph is actually last updated 3 hours ago. It looks like it jammed again. I think the prices crashed again because a lot of people are selling now, so I'll go ahead and go fix that. Next up, the Divine Spirit Shield. Like I said, I can pretty much overlay it with the other graph with a few variations here and there. And the big difference on this one here is this last crash in yeah, a few hours ago, the last crash here. Now this is not system jam or anything. They actually crashed this fast. This time the system managed to track it, which is great. And as you can see here, 235 mil, and then in a matter of hours they crash back down so ridiculously hard, just below like 165 mil here. And the reason for this is really simple and can perfectly be explained. People simply realized they do not need these spirit shields to block the most powerful NPC attack ever. And after that, of course, a little rebound. And yeah, that's the reason why people sell it. You can usually explain literally anything, any large changes on any graph. So I just like to point this one out too, because spirit shields and necks are not exactly the same, since these have the damage reduction. Now, of course, not everyone has the money to invest in all these expensive items, but that doesn't mean there aren't any nice investments for people with lower amounts of cash either. Here you have the anti-poison flasks, and as you can see here, on November 28th, that's when they start rising. And this is exactly when the special edition behind the scenes is posted. So people pretty much started stocking from that point on, and now you can see they're pretty much 8.4k each. And this is just an example of how you can make very nice money even with little money to invest with. And they have a limit of 1k per 4 hours, which allows you to put a nice amount of money into them, really. it's pretty much like 7 mil per 4 hours, which is pretty much 42 mil a day, which is quite nice. And then moving on to show you a little bit more, this is pretty much the whole graph here. There's some confusion about our Grand Exchange graphs. We do have Grand Exchange graphs which are free for anyone to use. You can see here I look up the word hat and you find pretty much any result with hat in it here. And like even here with all the item images and stuff, and if I just pick a random one, let's see, let's pick the Davy Cabot hat. Yeah, you can see there the limit 100 per 4 hours. It perfectly has a graph on there since like over half a year, I believe. And yeah, you can pretty much track the prices of every single day. You can see exactly what it is. And these are just so much more useful to use than Jagex's crappy Grand Exchange graphs. And there seems to be a lot of confusion about these. We do provide these, and they're great to use. You have all the averages on there. You can perfectly arrange the dates and stuff. And yeah, just a little tip for some people. And next up, I'd like to talk about the Drygore weapons upon request, as some people have been asking me what I think is going to happen to them. Now, as you can see in this picture here, Jagex put them up at 500 mil per weapon on the main hand and 300 mil for offhand. And then you have those little thingies to repair it, which are obviously worth jack shit since everyone's getting a lot of them probably. And yeah, this is the first time Jagex actually put items up this high. And I'm going to change the starting price, which is quite remarkable. And it's quite funny how it also fails this time, because these weapons crashed really fast in price. There seems to be very little demand for it right now. I'm not really sure why, because they do seem pretty good, but I guess there's just not a lot of PVMers left in RuneScape, or PvPers. But yeah, just to back that up, I'm going to check the forums right here. One moment. Yeah, here we have I pretty much searched the term Drygore on the RuneScape forums just to check the prices. As you can see here, someone's selling an offhand Drygore longsword for 200 mil. People buying pretty low doesn't say that much, but here an offhand Drygore rapier for 135. As you can see, a lot of selling offers, but hardly any buyers, so it seems like a pretty disappointing weapon for now. But I do think they're going to pick up in the future, and Jagex is definitely not going to let these sort of fail. You know, they're definitely going to improve them or make them useful at some places to increase their price, because they would hate to see their content sort of ruined. But right now I think the game is just really being flooded with these items as a lot of people are online. It has a lot to do with their system of instant worlds too. But I think they might make a great flipping item in the future. And that pretty much wraps up this video. I was quite happy that I had the chance to make it. I hope I taught you some stuff here and there, that you got some nice insights. Check out our Facebook, or check out our free trial and merch. Make sure you use our merch graphs from now on, and not the RuneScape Grand Exchange graphs anymore, because those are just terrible. I hope you all have a nice day and enjoy the update if you're going to the Kalphite King. Bye guys!